when I am with these young men and women on a daily basis, what a gift, I love to remind them that, yes, indeed, God is probably calling many of them to marriage. And when you know he's calling you, then how much more are you going to answer, right? Because if it's your plan, well, you're going to do a good job, right? But if you know it's the Father's plan, and if you know how good he is, then you're going to want to respond with all your heart. It makes all the difference. And once you're married, the vocation doesn't stop. It's not just like, okay, I know that I'm called to marriage. Now I just get to live my life. No, your vocation is right now. Just like when we woke up this morning, like I woke up and I knew the Father's calling me to live as the bride of his Son today. The Father called you to be the priest that you are today. The Father calls this husband, this father, to be the joyful, generous, sacrificial father that he was made to be today, as if today was the only day he had. Yes. Right? When we live our lives recognizing that the voice of the Father is heard every day. And Father, I don't know if you know this, or if you remember this, but you wrote that to me in a reflection that you shared with me on St. Joseph, to believe that he speaks to you, Sister Bernadette, on a daily basis. And I took that to heart, and I still do. So thank you. That indeed, these married men and women, the Lord is speaking to them through each other, through their children, through the chaos. Oh, the Lord speaks through chaos. Right. In fact, sometimes I think what we see as an obstacle, what we see as a problem, ask the Lord, Lord, where are you in this mess? Lord, what's your invitation? And suddenly what seems to be causing anxiety, what seems to be a problem, what seems to maybe even be an obstacle is the very place that he is waiting. And so our vocation is so much bigger, so much more relatable and real. It's fleshly. Like he takes the supernatural reality and he puts it in flesh. His name is Jesus. And he puts it in flesh. His name is Father Chase and I'm Sister Bernadette. Like he infleshes his will, right? We are Christians. We have an incarnational faith. God is alive.
And maybe this is what I realize. This goes all the way back to the beginning of when we started this conversation, of me realizing that I became the person that I was looking for. And when I realized that throughout salvation history, this is the way God works. This is just the way he does it, right? He uses humanity and I say uses in the best way. He actually imparts dignity to us by sharing his ministry of salvation with us. Yes. Right? And so even from Old Testament times, from the beginning of creation, he has asked humanity to carry out his will, to carry the baton, right, throughout salvation history. And especially after Jesus in the New Testament, we start to see that he's created these particular vocations, these particular ways of living out, that everyone could live a vocation, that everyone could be called to not just the universal vocation, but could be called also to the particular vocation in order to carry that baton throughout salvation history. And yes, the father of a family incarnates Jesus and God the Father in the family. Yes. The mother incarnates Jesus in the family, and oftentimes the Holy Spirit, yes. You know, and so you as bride of Christ, me meant to stand in the person of Christ as head of the church and head of the sacraments and imparting the sacraments. We all have a role and we all fit together, work together to incarnate Jesus and to bring his presence through our vocations to the world that needs salt and light.